Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay, the #1 source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay. We have a fantastic show for you guys today. Before we jump in, though, we want to thank all of our subscribers, our patrons, for supporting us. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, it means the world. We couldn't do all the things that we do with the website and these podcasts, put on tournaments without you guys. So thank you so much. Bay, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. In a new environment right now, house sitting. My mom. That's why the new room. I know that someone would ask if I didn't say so. Yeah, I'm doing good.
Nice. What have you been? Let's just jump into some decks. There's a bunch of cool stuff. I have not had a chance to play a lot of games lately, but there's a lot of cool stuff out there right now. There's a lot of new things. The meta seems pretty open, and people are experimenting a lot, which I love to see. Let's start with, I was just technically playing against you with the Timelines deck. And you were playing Ionia Bard.
Bard Zed. Yeah, Bard Zed.
Bard Zed, which I don't get that deck. Talk to me about that deck. I saw that it's done well for some people on the ladder and stuff, but it's like just a bunch of guys. I guess like it has some spells, but
yep. I mean, it just plays like the Ionia stuff. You have like the Twin Disciplines, the counter spells, Palms, Wills, the Bard package, and then cards that are really good when they get pumped. Like Navori Highwayman is probably my favorite one. It's the 1/2 for 2.
Nuts.
Yeah, that copies itself. Yeah, even on one chime, all of a sudden it's insane. 2/2/3s for 2 mana is nuts. But like when you get really big, it's insane. Zed obviously is like insane when you're pumping him. Said insane a lot. But my personal favorite is the 3 mana Greenglade Elder, I think it's called, where it's like a 3/1 for 3 that gives your entire hand +1/+1.
Yeah, I noticed you playing that. Why?
It levels Bard.
Oh, interesting.
And your deck's already made to be good if it gets pumped, right? You have like Zed, the Highwaymen and stuff. Like your cards want to get pumped. Esmus gets like really good if it's pumped once, that kind of stuff. And then so it just kind of like works with that.
Interesting. Do you think the deck is actually good, or is it like?
Yeah, I think it's good. Is it like the best deck? Well, probably not. No, but I think it's good. It's good enough
like
to play.
Tier 2 kind of thing, like good Tier 2.
Yeah.
Solid. Interesting. Have you had a chance to play the Timelines deck yet?
I have, yeah.
What'd you think?
It works.
Yeah.
It does its thing.
It's not your jam, right?
It's not my jam. It's been around for a while, right? We saw Timelines before. It was Trundle Gnar.
And it got pretty. It was pretty good.
It was very
Trundle
good.
Gnar got pretty good.
It's still good. Like the deck's very strong. I don't know. I don't love playing it. I don't know why I don't love playing it. I should love playing it. I don't dislike it. I just don't like really enjoy myself.
It's not as like, I feel like you like to play decks that are very interactive, right? Like a lot of cheap spells or like a lot of like a lot of interaction with your opponent. Whereas it's more of like it's like a failure deck where you kind of like feel the rush, kind of like sometimes you just slam in one big thing a turn, and sometimes they just do something. And you're like, well, I don't really answer that, so
that's true. It definitely is more like that, isn't it?
Which I like. I think it's fun. The new 6-drop, the 2/2 that pumps your whole team. Yeah, when I saw that. Yeah, when I saw that in the spoiler, I was like, this card is like pretty legit. And you were like, yeah, it's a 2/2. I was like, yeah, but if there's some way you could like make use of that or something, it'd be pretty good. And then you were like, Timelines. It's like, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, it's good. It's as good as you think. It's always like the first Revna is like, damn, that's pretty good. But the second Revna is insane because she's already pumped, right?
Oh wow, yeah.
And so it pumps everything more. She should be a 4/4. And then and then you play her, and then Timelines flip into something useful, and she can get pretty insane.
Yeah, not to mention all the other units of your deck now just being huge copies of things.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a deck I want to try out. There's a bunch of like crazy Heimerdinger stuff running around.
The standard like Heimer, Jace, Shadow Isles, which has been around for a bit. I was really high on that for like a bit last season. Um, it's the like tech focus deck where you play like
Right.
Hex Tech Handler and the French Fry. It's very strong.
French fry.
It's still putting up some numbers. It looks like French fries.
It totally looks like French fries.
That one's good. There's like the Sentinels Jace Elise deck that's like coming back. Still good. It still does exactly the same thing. Nothing changed. But the big breakout deck right now, because there was like the Annie decks, which are okay. I love playing, like, my favorite card of the new set is Ravenbloom Conservatory, the landmark, the 1 mana Noxus one that makes Tibalt. It's my favorite card of the entire set. So I've been having a lot of fun playing like Annie Ezreal, and Annie Gnar with 3 copies of Treasure Trash. That I've been having a lot of fun playing.
Sorry, why?
Yeah. Why am I having fun? Because it has 3 copies of Treasure Trash.
Why is it playing 3 copies of Treasure Trash? Yeah.
Well, basically, I mean, your deck has like 3 Blade's Edge, 3 Pokey Stick. You have like Death's Hand. You have Demolish, no, Disintegrate, like Flock, Scorch. You have a bunch of like these Noxus,
super cheap,
very cheap removal that often you have to 2-for-1 yourself to like kill something. So you just blah 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 blah, level up your conservatory, your hand's gone, Treasure Trash, refill. Like, that's kind of how it works. Could you just play Whispered Words instead? Yeah, technically, but it is nice to have that like just built-in kind of like crazy win condition.
Treasure Trash is pretty nuts when you do it for
really
like 8 plus. Like sometimes it's hard not to find a win. Like you just got so much stuff going on.
Yep.
How much of that deck have you been playing? Is that deck like an actual deck, or is that just
No, I think it's about the same as Zed Bard. It's like right below the tier 1 stuff. It's just good. I mean, we'll see what their meta goes, but like Demacia is still kind of popular, and it just destroys Demacia decks because you have like stuns, flocks, disintegrates, scorched earth, efficient removal, right? Like just nuts. They can't interact with your landmark at all. So like I think that's pretty good. The big like boogeyman right now, boogeymen, I suppose, are the Noxus Viego deck with Legion Deserter.
Yeah, how good is that
deck? Are you familiar with that? How good is it? Very good. Very powerful.
Yeah. I played against like a handful of times and I've gotten smashed by it probably every single time.
Yeah, it's I mean, Viego's just like really good, right? And then you have like Hydrovine, which is just like really good. And then Legion Deserter, it just kills you. It's like, deal with it or you die, but it's the deck stretches your removal so thin because you have to deal with Viego, you have to deal with Hydrovine, and you have to deal with Legion Deserter, or you die to any of those. And most decks just like can't do that much.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of decks can't even just deal with like one gigantic overwhelmed Deserter.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, it's an 18-18 or 18-17 or whatever. I guess I die then, right? And yeah, so that deck's very strong. And then the deck that's like it's causing me no end of strife because I hate playing against it is Thralls. Thralls is back in a really big way. Harbinger is really good, and the card that I did not expect it to be this good. I think it's called Sands of Time. It's like the 6 mana burst, -2/-0. Give yourself the instant sentry, whatever that one's called. The 0 mana, make countdown 4.
Pick something down by 4, yeah.
Yeah, that card's nuts. It's stupid. Like, because you can cast it whenever, and then it basically just finishes whatever landmark.
Yeah, so like they'll cast it on their own turn a lot just to like...
Just to do it, yeah. You're like, oh, bet. I'm dead. Just hate playing against it. Like, Scorch, because of Harbinger, destroying Thrall's landmarks is like not good. It's just like never good. It's a losing fight.
Because they can just make more, you mean?
Because now they're making more. Yeah.
And
it's a card. It's like not.
It's never been fantastic against them. Like good Thralls players have always known to like go wide,
spread out. Yeah. But now it's just like bad.
It's easier. Like, it's super easy for them to do it now. Before it was a lot more difficult.
I was playing a game on stream today where I was playing Annie Gnar, and I had Scorched Earth in my opener, and I kept it, and I like looked at the camera before like the game started, and I was like, this card is going to be terrible. I was like, I should not keep this because it's not going to be good. And my opponent just went like Frozen Thrall, Harbinger, and I was like, okay.
Guess I lose.
Sick. Yeah, and then I eventually scorched one because it was on like 4, and they went like Promising Future, the other one, Sands of Time,
Go
double
on.
Thrall you. I was like, tight.
Yeah. But to be fair though, the deck doesn't have like some weaknesses. It is still like very targetable.
Yeah, it's getting less so.
People, what do you think of this? I think that people really just dislike it when landmark decks are like the best thing or very good.
Yeah,
Let's go back. Let's go back. Yeah, let's go back in time here. There was let's see, there's Tree.
Okay, that wasn't
Azir, Azir,
Yep.
Tree.
Tree had other problems, but yeah.
Mono Shurima.
Yep.
What was the other alt WinCon one?
Starspring.
Yeah, I guess like people would probably not like it if Starspring was the best, right? It hasn't really
it was
ever
like
been
the
best
number
thing.
one deck. Yeah.
But if it was the nuts, like it'd be so frustrating. It's still frustrating to play against. Anytime you have a losing matchup into it, you're just like
losing matchups into Starsprings just sucks. Yeah,
are the worst. Yeah. What else is there? I don't know. Maybe like was Talia Ziggs ever the best? Not really, but like
it was pretty close. But like it wasn't it was a landmark deck, but it wasn't a landmark win condition.
Exactly.
And that's the difference. Like it honestly has less to do with landmark specifically and more to do with win condition that you can't really interact with in a favorable way.
Yeah. And this is why I've always preached for more landmark removal. Like, yes, I understand it wouldn't be good against Thralls, but it was great against Tree. It was like F Tree right up.
I mean, to be fair, they are giving it to us, right? Like almost all the Tellstones that can have landmark removal.
That's true.
Like literally every single one. I think that's why they printed them. Homecoming, Crumble, Aftershock, Poppy Spell. I don't know what the Shurima one has. I don't think the Noxus one can, but Noxus can remove landmarks pretty easily. Like a lot of the ones that don't like that you're never main decking the landmark removal spell in have it in their Tellstone.
Yeah, I'm really glad they put those Tellstones. So what I'm hearing from you is that they should bring Tree back then, because now it's not going to be a problem.
I mean, it's in the game. You can still play it if you want to. I think it's totally fine right now. Yeah.
I paid them to let me play it for like a couple more weeks, so that's nice of them to just not patch it for a while. Just leave it as is.
The PayPal must not have gone through or something.
Yeah, eventually the payment stopped and they just cut it right off. But
No,
I like landmarks. I like weird stuff like that and weird win conditions. I know everyone doesn't like all conditions, but things like timelines, like I like timelines. I think that's fun. Anything that's like weird and wonky, or like that's why I love the new Runeterran. What they call Runeterran?
Yeah, Runeterran champs and stuff.
The new Runeterran champs.
They're Runeterra champs, yeah.
Yeah, is there an N on the end or no?
Runeterra champs. No.
They're just Runeterra champs. Okay.
Runeterra champs. Yeah.
But yeah, I like stuff like that, and thus I like landmarks because they're something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think concurrent deck is really cool. I think timelines is like a super sick card. The problem I have is half the decks cannot interact with you, really, and not with like the concurrent stuff. That's fine, right? You're putting a bad card and hoping to pay off, right? The problem with like the concurrent timelines deck is 70% of the decks out there cannot beat Buried in Ice into Ithid Stairs.
Well, that has nothing to do with concurrent timelines, though.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Which is like that's why I dislike playing against the deck. Is that's just like incredibly annoying. And then sometimes they just high roll you on the concurrent and you're like, okay, I lose. But yeah, have you ever played like just a normal mid-range deck against concurrent timelines? It's like impossible. You just lose the game.
Yeah. Oh, it's a nightmare.
And so like that's why I think people don't like playing against decks like that. Thralls is like you queue up and like a lot of decks just cannot deal with what you're doing. And now they're not fast enough. Like Thralls will beat your ass down on like starting on turn 6 while presenting like blockers and casting a Blighter being somewhere in there, right?
Yeah, it's very consistent, very efficient, and very fast. Whereas before it was like, a lot more clunk. Like you get clunky hands, but you didn't have a Thrall, like didn't have as good attraction. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ironic though that your favorite card for the new set is a landmark that cannot be interacted with a lot of the time.
Yeah, but it's a little different. It doesn't like win you the game or anything. Tibok's strong, but like you play the landmark and then you also have to invest mana to like cast the guy. You have to do all these things to get this thing, and then it's just it's a really good effect. I think that's why I like it. But remember, we were talking before a long time ago about how we would really like these landmark win conditions to like be in the game. We just don't want them to like literally win the game. We want them to do a really cool thing. And I think Tibble is like the perfect example of that. It doesn't win you the game. It has a very strong kind of game-changing effect that matches the effort you have to put in to like deck build around it and like flip it. I think that's like perfect. Really hits the line exactly on.
I'll give you that. It is very fair. Whereas like things like 8/8 overwhelm units, multiples of them coming at you like at burst speed basically is less fair.
Feels bad.
If they were not able to burst attack with them, or if there was some interaction there,
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a lot better.
Yep. I agree. But on turn 7, I mean, and this is like not even an insane hand from them. Turn 7, there's 4 of them attacking you, open attacking you. You're just like, dope.
Nice.
Sick. Yeah. And then they get to play Ride of Negation.
Yeah. Do you think the deck's like too good? Because like there's definitely counters to it. There's a lot of stuff that's good into it.
Yeah, the stuff that's good into it is getting less good into it. Like Sivir Akshan, I don't think Sivir Akshan's a favorable matchup into Thralls anymore. And if it is, it's like barely.
Interesting.
And that used to be like the counter, basically.
The deck just kind of fell off, hey? Like it fell off last season. It just kind of
got nerfed, and then it got crept.
What got nerfed in it?
Sharpsight, Shapestone, Vanguard Sergeant, like the whole deck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Rune Runner. That's farther back.
Okay, go way back. Sharpsight and
the whole deck.
Sharpsight is pretty relevant in that deck, and then and then the 3-drop also.
Vanguard Sergeant, yeah.
Vanguard Sergeant, yeah. Yeah, and players are definitely getting better at playing Thralls now. Also, I've noticed.
Yeah. People aren't like they're playing around what you can do a lot better, which is important.
Yeah, they're not just like trying to like jam out 1 Thrall or 2 Thralls when they need to go wider or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think Thralls is the best deck. I think it's probably the second best deck.
What do you think is the best deck?
Probably right at this very second, probably the Viego deck.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think that'll change. I don't think it will stay the best deck. But right now, I think it is.
Yeah, because the format hasn't adapted
Format
to
hasn't
it.
Properly solidified quite yet.
Have you actually played it yourself, or you just played against it mostly?
The Viego deck or Thralls?
Yeah, Viego.
Yeah. Yes, I have. I did a video on it.
And how did it go for you?
Just kind of rolled people.
Yeah, just smashing people.
Yeah, there was sometimes you're like, wow, I'm really drawing nothing here. Your hand's like House Spider, 3 flocks and stuff, and you're like, that sucks. And then, but some games you're just like, play Viego on 5. Oh, you can't deal with it? Okay, Hydravine, you die. Or like you're just playing a normal game, blah 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 blah. Top deck Legion Deserter is an 18-17, and then you just kill them. You know, like
okay. So riddle me this then. Why? I was looking at the ladder. I'm looking at it right now, and okay, I do see one. There's one version of it in 13th. No, there's a couple more creeping up. 18, 19. Because I was gonna say like I didn't like wasn't at the top of the ladder because it's not currently, but it could just be people aren't picking it up just yet.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
What do you think about the Aphelios decks?
Aphelios?
So Aphelios and like Ruben Pyle.
Aphelios decks. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think PNZ Aphelios is going to be a tool for the top players to abuse this season. Absolutely.
That's what I was
think it's going to be one of the most rewarding decks for people to sink a bunch of time into. The aggressively slanted, by the way. I'm talking like aggressively slanted. It is a glorified burn deck. And you play Winding Light at the top. I think that's going to be a very, very good deck.
Like baboons and goats and 1-drops.
Oh yeah. Possibly even I was talking to MTux, possibly even Chomper's main.
Yeah.
Like really going for it.
The list I'm looking at right now that's number 2 on the ladder has 3 Chompers main. Also just 1 star shaping. Apparently just jammed in there. So why not?
I don't even think you want to play 1 star shaping.
It seems weird.
It does seem
But
weird.
sometimes,
My headphones are
sometimes you gotta go.
dying.
But sometimes you get some spice.
Just a little bit. Wee bit of spice. Yeah.
What about
I might have to
Aphelios?
Aphelios. Hold on. Let me switch. Let me know what you think of Aphelios. I have to switch to my headset mic because I only brought one charger in my it's the thing that connects to my mic. One sec.
Okay. Let's see. I like. Oh, and he's gone. Oh, and he's back. And we're almost there. I like Aphelios in general. This is the thing though. Like when it first came out, when Jizoth first made it or whatever, it had some problems in some different decks, and then like the meta kind of shifted into a place where it was just like good against most of what else was going on. And I feel like now again with a really wide open meta, there's a lot of decks that it's less good into. It's not kind of the total powerhouse that it used to be. But it's still just very good. It's still like, it's consistent and powerful. And like, what else do you really want, right? Like those decks will always be good. And I've seen Ace crush continually with it on the ladder. He just keeps fucking climbing with it no matter what. And it's a deck that I've put like a decent amount of time into last season. And so if it's still good, I'm still there for it. It being really threat or answer light, I don't like, because there's just a lot going on in the meta that I feel like that's why I don't like the Bard decks either, right? Like the Ionia Bard decks or the Targarden Bard decks especially, that just have like actually no answers to anything. You just have like a bunch of dudes, like a Pale Cascade, like some draw spells. It's like, how are you supposed to beat anything? They like present like a gigantic, overwhelming 5-drop. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I think Aphelios, which is what we were talking about, is pretty good. I think it's rather good. It's still, what I don't want to see is Thralls and Aphelios be the two best decks, because it's just like the same decks from last season. Except Thralls have been around forever. Kind of, yeah. And I don't know. I don't want that. I do want like some of the new stuff to like. I would love an Annie deck, like a not Annie Jin, because I think Annie Jin sucks. I think that deck sucks so bad. I want like an Annie mid-range deck. Basically, I want a Ravenbloom Conservatory deck to be good. I would like a Bard deck to be pretty good. Not Bard Demacia though. That's a boring ass deck. I hate a lot of decks.
That's how you know you're a Runeterra player. It's a lot of decks you hate.
Fuck that deck. Fuck this deck. Fuck your deck.
How do you feel about Quinn?
Well, I love my dog Quinn. I have 0 mastery points on Quinn. I've literally never played her.
It's wild. Are there any other champs you have 0?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll leave that for another episode.
Yeah, I'll check later. I'll check some other time. Let's see what else is there to hit really quick. Yeah, Aphelios good. Some people are playing Tribeam. I think it's like super mid. Honestly, pretty exploitable right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. What about deep? We've seen a lot of deep.
Mid. I think it's mid.
Okay. What do you mean? What do you mean
playable.
By mid?
Mid. It's playable. It's not like great. You're not doing yourself any favors by playing it, but like, I'm not going to tell you not to play it, right? Like, it's not like hurting you, but it's not like helping you. It's mid.
It's a deck. I got you.
It's a deck.
What about
deck you can play on ladder? It's a deck.
What about Tentacles with Ionia?
With Ionia, that deck sucks.
Okay, good.
I think that deck's bad. I think the Demacia one is like strictly better.
Yeah, I agree, and there were members of the community that disagreed, and I just like
it's Roji.
This is the truth of it. Is Roji beat me in a game that I definitely should not have lost because I didn't know what he was doing and I was playing on my phone, and so I just got ghosted and died. And I was like, "Fuck this deck! Fuck this stupid deck!" Can't believe I just got got. Who plays Ghost? Yeah. If I had just known he's playing Ghost, he was so dead here.
It's like playing Sivir Zed when you could play Sivir Akshan. Like Sivir Akshan is just like a better deck. Like, if no one knows what you're doing and you play the Sivir Ionia with, like, Ghost and the Double Strike, like, yeah, you're going to win games. But, like, if they know what you're doing, you're just playing a worse deck. You're playing a cheese deck, which is fine. Cheese decks can be really good, but I think the Demacia version is just, like, a much more powerful deck altogether.
Yeah. What do you think of it in general? Where does the Demacia version of the Tentacle deck, where does it fall in the scale?
Actually, very good. It's very, very powerful. The only reason I'm not telling you it's the best thing to be playing right now is because everyone is playing flock decks. Because you have to be, or you lose to Alawi.
Doesn't that make it an amazing tournament deck then?
Could be. But, like, it's pretty easy to run 3 flock decks if you really want to.
Okay, but a lot of people won't.
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, so that then makes it like a pretty good. How does it do in Thralls, though, you think?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Probably good. Maybe. I'm not really sure. You're pretty fast when you can be. Like, rally, cataclysm type shenanigans. You're pretty quick. The problem is, like, if you're not, like, if you don't, they also have, like, freezes, right? Like, flash freeze and entombs, and that sucks. I actually don't know how that matchup goes.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. I feel like I'd still give it to the Demacia deck.
Probably.
Because like freezing stuff or like entombing stuff for like a turn is just like not quite enough.
It's not quite good enough. Mm-hmm.
What happens if you entomb a tentacle? Does it come back with the buffs or no?
Yes. Yeah.
Same size? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes damage. It's the same with damage also, right?
They come back exactly the same. Yeah. And Tentacle Smash is an insane card. It's absolutely
so
bonkers.
Insane.
So nuts. Yeah.
I would be okay with that becoming like a +2
Spawn
or something.
2? Yeah.
Yeah, in the future.
Not Spawn 3. Spawn 3 is insane. Because, like, it just... Oh, man. There's so many things where you're just sitting there on turn 3, and they have 1 spell mana and 3 unit mana, and you're just like, I can't play this, because I just get Tentacle Smashed.
Yeah.
Like, they have like, 1 Tentacle, like, spawned 1 or 2, because they played the 1-drop. And you're just like, I just can't play this unit. It just dies a Tentacle Smash.
I wonder, though, like, that the card's so good, it's, like, kind of propping up the archetype. Like, if you cut it down...
It is 100% propping up the archetype.
Yeah.
If you lose Tentacle Smash, like, if it gets nerfed, that archetype is way worse.
Like, I actually even wonder if you could play Tentacle Smash in, like, some other decks. Like, could there also be some other, like, archetypes where it, like, just works out?
Yeah, you probably could. Especially, like, there's some decks that are in Bilgewater, and, like, you don't play Salvage anymore. You play Eye of Nagakoboros, even if you're not spawning things, just because, like, burst speed 2/2, draw 2 is, like, really good.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun to see a Tentacle Smash deck that's, like, not the typical.
Yeah, just to maybe play a couple spawn things here and there. It's about it. Yeah, could be. It'll be interesting.
If you were if you were telling someone, if someone wants to be climbing for 7 and 2 or whatever, they want to be climbing at Masters, you think Thralls or what was the other one?
Viego Noxus.
Viego Noxus are the way to go right now?
Probably Thralls. I don't have enough experience against the Viego Noxus deck or with it to, like, know. I don't know how exploitable it is. I don't really know what its counters are. But Thralls seems like, while it's technically kind of counterable, it's only, like, kind of counterable.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because, like, at the beginning of the season, there was a bunch of decks I was playing, and because I played Thralls a lot, like, I know how to play against it, and I was kicking some butt. I was feeling great, and then maybe, like, just a week later, I was like winning those matchups a lot less. I was still, like, winning them, but, like, by a fraction rather than, like, a bunch, or, like, and I was, like, starting to lose them sometimes more often. Yep. And it was just like, oh.
It's really, really powerful. What it does is incredibly powerful, and it's hard to interact with. And then, like, Lysandra is a stacked ass card.
Yeah.
It does a lot of things. Flipping Lysandra is, like, insane. It's good on 3 because it gives you a Thrall. A free Ice Shard every turn. Nexus gets tough. 3/4 tough is really hard to get through. Like,
Nexus getting tough is, like, really, really annoying.
Just keeps pestering you, huh?
She's, like, tangled in my headphone cord now. And I'm trying to untangle her, and she's just clawing me. Fucking
typical cat behavior.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I think those are the good stuff right now.
Honestly,
we need another week to like really figure it out. If we have like one more week, everything will kind of solidify, because like we're still in the, as of the time of recording, we're in the Noxus has taken over, Flock Decks has taken over, because that was what beat all the Alawi decks. So like 2 days ago, it was all Alawi Demacia, and Noxus started popping up. Then Noxus kind of took over, and now we'll see what happens after that. The meta has to react to this. It is in that spot right now. So
yeah, so that's why
Saturday,
Thralls is doing so well, right? Because Thralls is good into those decks.
Yeah, which it shouldn't be. You're not allowed to be good into the the score strict decks. What the hell?
It's fine.
But yeah, so we'll see where it ends up in another week.
Yeah, and then a week after that will be like the big patch, right?
Probably.
1, 2. Huh.
I don't know.
Well, let's see. It happens every 2 weeks, and so like if this is 2 weeks away, then the big patch should be in 2 weeks. Away. But that seems too soon.
1 month from the release of the set?
Yeah. That would be the 15th of June.
Yeah, that checks out.
1, 2, 3. Gives us a lot of time between like 4?
4 weeks. 1 month.
4 weeks to seasonals? Huh. That'll be interesting. I kind of liked having the shorter amount of time before seasonals last season, but I feel like this time, I don't know, I'm busy. Kind of want like a little bit more time to suss things out. The metas are like so crazy now, and they're so wide open and stuff. I want like a little more time to play with them. So I think maybe I'm good with that.
It's gonna end up being less wide open than we think.
At the end, yeah. I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen with the patch, right?
That's true. Like, I think next week, like I was saying, next week we will have it not figured out, but like then we will know what the meta is. It will have come full circle, and we will have this is what beats this. This is what beats this. This is probably the overall best deck, but this deck beats that, right? We'll have that like done. And then if there's like a balance patch that changes a couple things, that gets thrown into disarray. Disarray?
Disarray.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I feel like a lot of these, like, there's a lot of decks that could just go away. Like, I don't know, these Bard decks, I don't get it. I just don't fucking get it. Like, they just seem so bad to me. They just, like, and, like, even, like, a lot of the Annie decks, like, I love them, but there's...
A lot of the Annie decks are really bad.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like there's a bunch of stuff like that. It seems like there should be just, like, I don't know, Pantheon, Aphelios Decks, Thralls.
Disintegrate is huge into Pantheon. Oh my god. Because it gets through barrier, and they can't guiding touch out of it like they could with Scorched Earth and Flock.
Oh, that's right.
Disintegrate's big. You just chump it and cast Disintegrate. That's why you're not seeing any Pantheon decks. Also Viego, like Viego Noxus is like the Pantheon killer. Because your stuff gets huge. You play 3 copies of Disintegrate, you have Stun Spider, and then eventually you just flip Viego anyway.
Yeah. That makes sense. That then also makes sense why we're not seeing a lot of Pantheon, because I wondered about that. I thought people were just maybe tired of playing it.
That too. Still a lot of new stuff to play. That's fun.
Yeah.
I don't really have much else to say. I think that's
all I got. Yeah, we'll be bigger next weekend. I'm looking forward to playing a lot in the coming week. It's been so busy.
Yeah, we have to. We have playoffs for RA next week.
Yeah, that's right. We had a bye this week. Speaking of which, as of this recording, the play-in playoffs or whatever are like happening like right now, which I'm probably gonna like have on one of my monitors while I do some work. That's a good time. Also, by the way, if you are one of our subscribers or patrons, we just released a survey, basically, asking like what kind of stuff you guys like that we're doing, what we could be doing better, what kind of new stuff you want us to be doing, so that we can be, putting on more awesome events, tournaments, building tools, doing cool stuff for you guys. So that's in the email that we sent out. And also you can find it in the Discord. Please fill it out. Helps us give you guys lots more value and content and awesome stuff. All right. Well, I think that's what it is for us for today. We'll be back again next week with more stuff to talk about, tournament results, new metas, all that jazz. Take care of yourself. Remember, if you have a learning mindset, you cannot lose. Peace.